Hi, my name's Shawn Shaler. That guy down there is my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter fame, and his new headphones are doing a remarkable job at blocking out any white noise. That's kind of incredible. Nice find, Chris. How are you? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Oh, you might not no longer hear me just ruffling my microphone against my shirt. So I'm sorry you guys will miss that.
I listen. We always look forward to that, and also, like these did an incredible job of knocking out any white noise whatsoever. It's amazing. Chris, weird one-off spin-off episode. It's the holidays. Holidays are busy, so I'm not going to be all that apologetic about it because we're busy people. So we're going to do another spin-off episode if that's okay with y'all. And it's specifically because a little piece of news fell into our lap, so we decided we were going to record a one-off. But I do feel, Chris, I feel inclined to at least A, say Happy Thanksgiving, because this is kind of a Thanksgiving episode, I guess, technically. And then B, give me like two nerd things that you're grateful for. So aside from friends and family and loved one, because
Ooh,
I know you're grateful for them. Give me like two
yeah,
nerd things you're grateful
obvious.
for,
Two nerd things I am
because it
grateful
is a given.
for. That's a good question. I mean, Batman's too obvious. Yeah, Avatar's almost too
You
obvious. I
you
want
think
something
on it.
new.
I'm gonna give two. I'm gonna recycle two from a
Okay,
Pokemalarkey
good.
podcast. While you think on yours, and I specifically picked things of like, hey, I survived another year in the pandemic, and some things that help me get through it is I play D&D with two of my older friends, all virtually. They're two of my friends from like back home, and that has been a big like a big social thing for me that I've needed. You know, I kind of get my podcasts. So I maybe already had something built in that other people don't necessarily. And then D&D was sort of another social outlet for me, and it's also fun. I like high fantasy stuff. I like dragons. And then number two was that I have been playing quite a bit, quite a few Switch games, kind of all over the board lately. But specifically, again, sticking in those D&D lines, I've been playing a lot of action RPGs. So I've been playing a lot of Diablo 3, this game called Kingdoms of Amalur, and those types of just like high fantasy, make number, get bigger types of games. And those I've probably spent a lot more time on those than any other video game type during the pandemic. So I'm gonna go with those two. I'm very
Okay,
grateful for those.
uh, I am grateful for Young Justice, which is a
Nice.
terrific animated show on HBO Max. It has been like, I think it came out maybe 10 years ago, technically. Honestly, this is a tale of resilience, this show. The show started off on Cartoon Network, um, like years and years ago, was always at risk of being canceled. It was canceled after the second season, and it came back on DC Universe, when DC Universe first launched, when it was also doing um, movies and TV shows. That was one of their big things on there. And now DC Universe no longer exists in that capacity. Now it's just comic books. But now season four is on HBO Max, and so this is like Tell Resilience. It's survived so many cancellations, and it's gone. Like it was coming out when Legend of Korra was premiering new episodes. That tells you something. I think it only has four seasons, but it's been around for like almost 10 years now. But it's a great show about the DC sidekicks. Really, really great show. Great animation. Not on the level of Avatar or Legend of Korra, because the action sequences are just different, but still great animation nonetheless. They have a few great fight scenes. Really great, I think, for American animation. But some great storylines with some twists and turns. Absolutely recommend it. It's in my top five cartoons of all time. Really good. Uh, I'm also grateful for the show Ghost, which I feel like I recently talked about.
Oh,
I
is
don't know.
that
That's
that's not Hulu, that's NBC? Peacock?
CBS.
CBS? I
Yeah,
see advertisements for it on one streaming service or
I
another,
have
but I don't
been
know which
very
it is.
much enjoying that. Like I look for it comes a new episode comes out every Thursday. I look forward to it.
No
I make
kidding.
sure I watch it.
I've been
Yeah.
trying to whittle down between I either want to watch that or maybe and or there's no time frame. But What We Do in the Shadows has a lot of appeal to me as a comedy. I've heard really good things.
I haven't tried. It doesn't seem like my thing, but I've heard good things about it.
Everybody keeps telling me to watch Yellowstone. I was like, oh, everybody's talking about it,
I'll
maybe.
watch
But then
those.
I thought it was a comedy, and it's definitely not a comedy. So I'm not gonna watch that noise.
I was like, when you said, I was like, sure, I don't think you'll watch
No, I'm not
Gyatso.
gonna watch Yellowstone. I like Googled it. I was like, no way. This is absolutely not. Well, hey, happy Thanksgiving. Count the blessings in your life. Obviously, pay more attention to the friends and loved ones and big things. But hey, if you got a time to stop and think about your favorite nerd things that you're grateful for, that's not a bad thing either. Be grateful. And Chris, we're gonna do a shorter spin-off, one-off. I've been kind of recording all night, and I'm lazy and tired. So hit us with this beautiful Avatar news that conveniently fell into our lap this week.
All right, so I knew news was dropping this week because I follow reputable websites that said that they're going to start filming, and filming has started. This thing is real, people. Like, no matter if you like it or not, this thing is going to happen, and I wish it all its success. So production has started this week, and with production starting, they need cast members, and so more cast members have been announced. But so far, that picture there is just four of the main cast and a lot of the producers. I do love how diverse and just full of Asian representation that those creators are. So that's really good. But those creators aren't those two white guys that I love the most, Bryan and Mike.
I love how diverse, but can we get those good white guys back in here?
You get those. I just need two, just two of those white guys.
It's still really good
Just
balance,
two of
even
them.
even with two of them.
Yeah. Um, the thing is, I keep every time I get excited about this show, like I came across, I take screenshots there. I came across screenshots of Bryan and Mike announcing they were leaving the show. I'm just like, I'm not looking that forward to this show as much as I would be. Like this cast, it's a great cast. I think they've assembled so far on, uh, optic wise, and some other casting choices too. I think it's just really good choices. Specifically, I think Katara is a good choice. Zuko, I'm not that excited about the actor who's playing Zuko for some reason. I don't know, he's not giving me Zuko vibes, but he's an actor, and actors act.
The guy in the back with
Um,
the big smile makes me think of Todd from Community, just
yeah.
a little bit.
Um, but we got some major casting announcements. Iroh has been cast, so that's probably the biggest one coming out of it. And the person playing Iroh is Paul's son,
I should have pulled that up on my phone.
Hwang Lee. Sorry, I'm going to butcher names. I'm sorry, it's Paul. Um,
Man, if he
so
listens to this, he's gonna be pissed.
the thing is, he does have a YouTube channel that he regularly like updates. Like, and he doesn't have like it's not a big following, like especially compared to me. Like I have like, how many subscribers? 6,000, I think, somewhere around
You're
there.
mid sixes
But
now, mid sixes.
yeah, but he has 12,000. Like, hey,
Just
I
call him
feel
up,
like,
ask him if
hey,
he want to
I
do a
feel like I
collab sometime.
exactly and right. Like we're in the same ballpark here. Uh,
Listen, if I take my 6,500 and then Shawn's 90 together, we are really close.
um, but so the thing is, I think optic wise, I think it's a good casting, just overall. I think optic wise, he looks like Iroh. Like, granted, my first choice of Iroh was Jackie Chan because I think for multiple reasons. One thing, he would provide such prestige to this property, it would elevate it to another level. Also, he's a really great actor. Like not only comedy bits, but he can get very serious, and I know he would have absolutely nailed the role. Also, he would have been able to. I was also hoping that he would come on as a director, direct a couple episodes, especially episodes like like the Blue Spirit, because that's an episode that's really not Iroh's not really in it, and so if Jack Chan was the director of it, he would be able to be a hands-on director in that episode because that episode is so much. It's so Jackie Chan to me, like grabbing an object and using it as a weapon or as a escape mechanism is so Jackie Chan.
It's the closest to like an action movie that we get inside of a single episode, probably.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Like a true like action movie tropes, I guess I should say.
hmm No, yeah. And also the creators have been known to be very influenced by Jackie Chan. So that was my original casting pick. And it's always hard when you make a casting choice and you kind of fall in love with it. I knew it was a long shot because it's Jackie Chan. He's probably the world's biggest movie star because China is a huge market. and and he's the biggest movie star out of China. And so I know it would have been hard to get him, but hey, but okay. So back to Paul. He looks like he can play Iroh. Like he looks like Iroh. He has like the perfect facial features, like even the bags under his eyes.
He makes. I want to hug him
Even
right now. He looks like the nicest human I've ever not met.
yes, even the bald spot, like it's great to me. It's great optic casting. And so Paul is from people know him from Kim's Convenience, which is a show you can watch on Netflix. People who watch that show, I've only heard good things about that show. I've never tried to watch it before, but I've only heard good things. It's a comedy show. I watched a few clips just because of hearing about his casting announcement, and he seems to play comedic roles pretty well. He's also been in The Mandalorian, and so I watched a few clips of that. I also have not watched The Mandalorian. I find it really hard to get into Star Wars for some reason, but but
That's fine.
he's in that. I watched one clip, and I can get the Iroh vibes. I can get that he can play a serious role, those serious parts, because it wasn't really the comedy aspect of Iroh that I was worried about or looking forward to most. It was more about that serious acting because it's going to be live action, so it's going to tip a little bit away from the comedy. Hopefully, not fully away, but it's going to be probably more serious. And so that's the part that I was most concerned with. But I think he can do it. He's been in the game for a while, and so I think he has the acting chops to bring Iroh to life.
Did you watch any of his YouTube videos by any chance? Just out of
I
curiosity.
did. He does a lot of like unboxing and toys and stuff like
Oh,
that, which is cool. Yeah, he's
yeah.
like a nerd.
Well, hey, if we call him up and we ask him for a collab, maybe he'll bring us around to the whole show. Like, he'll give us a really
Ooh, yeah.
genuine pitch, like why we're gonna like this show.
Although he then might watch this and be like, "You want to check your chin over me? You idiot!" Like
You
no.
guys bashing the show. You try to call in Jackie Chan,
You try to say you wanted two white guys. You're against diversity.
and he just like slams his laptop shut and leaves. And then some. The next
Yeah,
time we try to get on Netflix, we're like banned.
yeah.
I don't know how that
Um,
works.
but I am very everyone who's familiar with him is like, oh, great casting, great casting. Me, I'm fairly indifferent, but I see how this could really work. Yeah, I like him. Just that picture right there,
Yeah,
very
he passes the eyeball
lovable.
test, man. If he's
Iroh
got
look,
any
yeah.
serious but level, not dramatic, serious but level chops, which I imagine he has, it seems like a big win.
Mhm. Yep.
All right, let's jump to the next one.
Anything else? Yeah, we can go
Oh
to
no,
the next one here.
I know nothing about the guy. I'm pleased with what little I've got. So no, let's go to the next one here. That's Commander
Yep.
Zhao or Admiral Zhao or Captain Zhao or
or
whatever the hell he is.
or or Zhao the
Zhao
Conqueror,
the
or
Conqueror.
Zhao the
Yes.
Invincible, or
Oh, I see
Zhao the
what you did
Moon
there.
Slayer.
I see what you did
Um,
there.
all right, I'm going to butcher this name also. Hopefully not the Kin part. Kin Luong, Leung. Sorry, very sorry, anyone.
I
So
think
I
you're
know
trying
him.
respectfully, so people get it.
So I'm familiar with him from X-Men 3, which I don't think is a bad movie. A lot of people hate X-Men 3. I don't think it's that terrible. I mean, it's not great, but he wasn't the terrible part of it. He played the guy Spike. You remember there's a scene where like the doctor lady, he walks in, he gives her, she's like scared. He plays a villain. He's like, hey, it's okay. And then he uses his Spike powers, and then he kills her.
I do recall.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
And
Okay.
we've had this talk before. It's
So,
not a bad movie. It just has oddly low stakes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but one of his biggest roles, I think, and they don't even show it in a lot of the announcements, is role in Rush Hour. Have you seen Rush Hour?
I love Rush Hour 1 and 2. Let me hold on. He's Juntao from the first one. No, he's not Juntao. He's the bad guy with the blonde hair.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He so
How is that
before
not the
this,
biggest thing in his resume?
no, right? Like people usually like the thing is that when I saw this casting, I didn't even think about Rush Hour because I kind of forgot he was in Rush Hour. My mind goes straight to X-Men because that's the most recent thing.
That's fair.
But he's actually great in Rush Hour. Like
Yeah, he's excellent.
he's yeah, he really is. He does a good he's a good opposite of Jackie Chan. Speaking of Jackie Chan, which might have been really
This
cool to
was
get
their
Jackie
comp
Chan
of
viral.
like, listen, that guy's gonna be upset if we can't Jackie Chan. They'd be like, well, we got this guy.
Yeah. But he in Rush Hour, he he was a great physical match for Jackie Chan, and it looked like from the way they shot it that he did most of his stunts. Although with Zhao, I'm not that concerned about how the baby's going to come across because Zhao's very rudimentary in his
Yeah, I feel like
bending.
this guy would be able to pull off the martial artistry on his own.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe they'll elevate Zhao's artistry in this. Um, but he seems like he's fairly well trained. I haven't looked it up, but
Well,
I assume
even
so.
when I'm thinking about Rush Hour, so you hit kind of a sweet spot. Rush Hour 1 and 2 are two of my favorite comedies. I would say it's
Mhm.
like his. You would maybe say it's just a little heavy-handed, like a little overdone when he actually has to do the acting parts, the non-action parts. But it's also a comedy
Mhm.
movie, and also he's going to be playing Zhao, so I think a certain amount of like over-the-top bad guy is not a bad thing.
Yeah. I do feel like he's a little older than how Zhao's depicted in the cartoon, but that's not an issue to me at all. The only part that you might
Fixable.
think it is an issue is that sometimes you can sort of situate Zhao as being not a big brother to Zuko, but more like a direct contender. Like Zhao is like almost like I'm going to gain what Prince Zuko lost. Like I'm going to be the second in command to the Fire Nation, the most trusted person that the Fire Lord can have by his side. That's almost that relationship. I've heard it in interviews, or maybe it was in a commentary where Mike and Bryan kind of mentioned something like that rivalry. And so when these ages are a little bit more farther apart, it maybe feels like less of a rivalry. And then when they're close, like to me, Zhao is like 37, 40, and Zuko 17. And this guy seems like 50 or something. Like he seems more vetted than Zhao. But hey, that's not a big issue, honestly.
I would have
Just
pegged
speaking.
Zhao as a hair older. Like I would have pegged Zhao like low to mid
Maybe
40s.
45.
Yeah, I would
But
have
yeah,
said mid 40s, and little age down, little makeup. I imagine it'll be
yeah.
okay.
Not a big issue at all.
Yeah.
But no, the more I was initially thinking about this, when this first announced, because I was thinking about Rush Hour, I was like, I'm not really getting the vibe there. I had a choice picked out that I think was a little better, but I wasn't that concerned because it's a Shao, honestly. But now thinking about Rush Hour, I'm liking the choice more because I know I think what's in his actors, what's in his repertoire.
Are we allowed to substitute an episode where instead of quoting John Mulaney, we just quote Rush Hour?
I don't know Rush Hour well enough to well,
Oh,
okay, just a few clips I have watched. Chris Tucker is so hilarious
he
in
is.
Rush
I have a
Hour.
feeling that if we're quoting this, it only makes sense that you have to be Chris Tucker and I have to be one of the FBI guys, I guess.
So I was
It
watching a
only makes
few. I
sense.
was watching a few scenes. He comes into the place. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna kick all your asses. You ready? And that guy kicks him in the head, and he's like,
Which one of y'all did that?
okay, which one of y'all did that? Like the guy hit him so fast that he's not sure who it was.
his his acting, his comedy tone is perfect for those two movies.
Yeah,
The third one, I maintain, is is bad. I
I
mean,
don't
I
think
still
I've
like
seen the
watching it
third
laugh,
one.
but it's bad. But no, those and he pairs really well with like we're talking about actors that just pair very well together. Like his back and forth with Jackie Chan, like you would have no issue believing that those guys were probably good friends on set at least at the time. Like they were having fun.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
evident. And there'd be times where
Kata, kata.
there were times where Jackie Chan, like, you could almost feel him not knowing how to react to Chris Tucker, like, in real life, but also that's how it's supposed to come off in the script. You're like, that's very well done. Well, hey, I'm excited that this is a person that I've heard of, not just from one thing, but from two things. I'm starting to feel more educated already. Seems like a great choice. And there was a
Yeah.
third choice, third pick, Chris. I didn't grab a picture, but it
Yeah. So
was
if you feel educated by that one, it's time to feel uneducated. So they have also picked a person who played Monkey Atsu, and that is Lim K. Suyul. He's been in the King in Night Watch. I have no I have no feelings about this whatsoever because one thing, the role of Gyatso is a fairly small role, and I don't know this actor's. I don't see how that role is going to expand any, and I mean maybe it will. That's fine, I guess.
but it can only go
Um,
so far, and what we know is not like
yeah,
super rangy or anything.
yeah.
Well,
So
I mean, I have no comment. I got nothing. If he looks the part, that's going to be half the test, right? Just kind of the eyeball test for a role like that, where we
yeah,
need to know who you are.
he looks the part, even though we don't have a picture here. Just trust us. He looks the
Just
part.
just Google it. And, well, you know what? Hey, for what it's worth, and we throw this out there sometimes, is that like we got this, or we got our pictures, not the news necessarily, from avatarnews.co, and the news is up there, and that's where you can see the other pictures and stuff like that. And just generally a good site to kind of keep your eyes on sometimes.
I think so. Other little small little tidbits. Um, Netflix announced that the production of the series would take place using new virtual production volume designed and operated by some Gyatso virtual production. It's 20,000 square foot stage. It's 84 feet across, 28 feet high, with over 3,000 LED panels. Pretty much the same type of technology they use on shows like The Mandalorian. So if you like that, it should be a pretty good quality show. Not cheap.
Mandalorian, you might not be fond. I would say season one of The Mandalorian is my favorite Star Wars content. Season one
Hmm.
specifically.
Well, I just stopped watching at
Yeah, it's
like
fine.
episode two because I was like, oh, I think I'll watch Star Wars Clone Wars because I think that would help me out because I know Ahsoka comes in season two. I'm like, she seems like a cool character. I kind of want to know more of her, but then I try to watch Star Wars Clone Wars. I'm like, I'm just not into this. But,
Totally understandable.
oh, also, no, never mind. I mentioned this already. That guy is in Mandalorian. Sorry. But yeah. A couple other one other slight tidbit is that because I'm curious about so it's gonna be like 10 episodes, but like 44 to 50 minute per episode, which technically means they have more runtime than the first season of the show does.
That's kind
And
of
they're gonna do
interesting.
yeah.
I
So
mean,
I'm really curious what they're gonna drop. Like, I wonder would they have the balls to do the Great Divide, where they're like, let's take that and do something. I think they could do a Great Divide episode, and we've been thinking about the Great Divide a lot lately because
yes, we
they
have
recently reviewed it on the
Braving the Elements,
official podcast, Braving the Elements.
our
Great
second
podcast,
favorite
by the way.
podcast.
Yeah. Um, and And so I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about that a lot. Just how the Great Divide could be a great episode. Honestly, it really could. We should do a whole
Uh,
episode. I think we should do a what if the Great
let's
Divide was a good episode.
instead of what if, can we just do like a rewrite? I mean, it's sort of a
Well,
similar
yeah, that's
concept, but can
that's
we just do a rewrite?
that's what it would be.
Yeah.
That's what it would be.
What if
Yes.
it was good? It's just, okay, well, here's what should happen. Hey,
Yeah.
maybe, and to prep for that, I will say the Great Divide episode. I did not like the current one where there was like a sort of debate, but I actually did like their discourse in the previous one where they actually just covered it and explained some
Yeah.
things. And after hearing them talk about it much in the way that, like, after hearing Chris talk about something, I will change my tune due to better context or better info. So it was good, and
Mm.
most people will probably be okay with the debate one also.
Yeah.
Uh, hey,
Did you watch their fan show?
no, I did
Did they
not.
have fans doing trivia?
Oh no, that one kind of got me angry too, so I kind of skipped it.
I was like, it should have been me.
No, well,
The thing
when I
is,
was to say it should have been Chris Ford is what it should have been. No, I don't. I guess when I listen to a podcast, the structure is very important to me. Like
I get it.
I
Yeah.
kind of want what I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. So I say that as we're in the middle of a spin-off episode of ours that completely breaks all the structure. But
Such a
yeah,
hypocrite.
I've got like 4 podcasts that I listen to every week, and for some reason my brain is much more accepting of the episodes that are just like how they're supposed to be. I don't know why
Yeah.
that is.
I,
I'm weird. But well, hey, I think that's all we got for now. Outside of any final thoughts, Chris?
nope, my battery's probably about to die
And
anyway.
my
So
my personal like in my brain battery is about to die, so I'm gonna get out of here. Happy Thanksgiving if you're into that sort of thing, or whatever. Even if you just take Thursday and think about the foods that you really like to eat, or whatever.
yeah.
Happy that you don't have to celebrate a holiday to eat a good meal. And thanks for bearing with us through some wacky holiday spin-off stuff. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.
Oh no, I'm way too early.
No, I didn't mute you yet. You can't leave. You have to stay till you're muted. Okay, now you're muted.